And we got about 30 seconds to go, a little less. And we are backstage right now with just, there we go. I got my mute in place here. About 10 seconds actually at this point for AbilityMKE Now to get started. So stand by. Welcome to AbilityMKE Now. My name is Sue Roskoff, and we are here on River West Radio. Excited to have another fun show tonight. AbilityMKE Now is a show all about integration, bringing people with disabilities and people that don't have a disability together, enjoying life here in the Milwaukee area. We all have different abilities. And here at AbilityMKE Now, we dive into this topic of diverse abilities. The concept of disability hits a wide range of possibilities. We could be talking about physical or mental disabilities, the deaf and hard of hearing community, blindness, chronic pain, mental health diagnosis, goals of substance use reduction, and the list goes on. We all have our own experience with disability, whether it's our own or with people we know or people we encounter in our daily lives. Here at AbilityMKE Now, we break down the barriers and celebrate the ability in all of us. I am excited to bring in our guest this evening. We have a wonderful lady joining us, coming out of Columbus, Ohio, joining us this evening for our show. So Diane Kaler is a wife of 33 years, a mother of 3 young adults, a small business owner since 2009, a Shackley business owner since 2021, and her hobbies include gardening, walking, reading, volunteering, and I can relate to this a lot too. She is a small town girl now living in a big city. And let me go ahead and bring Diane in here. I am so glad you're joining us tonight, Diane. Come on in and say hello and share a little bit on who you are, what you do.
All right. Well, thank you, Sue. Like you said, I started a Shackley business almost 2 years ago, and I've really been enjoying it. Shackley is a direct sales health and wellness business. It was started in 1956 by Dr. Shackley. So we are celebrating 67 years. And Dr. Shackley he was a naturopath, a chiropractor, and he was very concerned about his patients. In the early 1900s, they weren't getting enough nutrition. So he started researching this, and in 1915, he actually developed the first vitalized minerals. These were then given to his patients, and he noticed improvement in their health. So he invented vitamins before vitamins were even a word in the dictionary. So at that point, then he started his practice. He continued, and then, like I said, in 1956, they launched their business in direct sales, and it has taken off since then. We actually have over 300 products in 3 different categories right now.
That's amazing. I did not know all that history. I've heard of the company. I'm actually kind of familiar. At least at one time, I was more familiar with Shackley, and I know they've got amazing products. But I am actually blown away by part of the history here. I did not realize that he was that involved in the pieces of actually starting the whole concept of taking vitamins, because health and wellness is so important for all of us. And
right.
That's really amazing. I'm sorry, I had no idea that was part of the history. So this is fun to hear.
I know he was rubbing shoulders with Henry Ford, Thomas Edison back then. So these were all inventors, and it was at an age where America was starting to grow, that we were starting to come into, a new era. So these inventors were all collaborating. So they were peers of Dr. Shackley. So there was just a lot going on back then.
It's amazing to me. It feels like there was such a small world then. Anyone who is in that whole arena of being on cutting edge on whatever their industry was, that the world was small enough at that point, that they actually knew each other, and like you're saying, collaborated on different ideas. And I think that is just amazing. These are people that we all have heard of and really don't know much about, but the Dr. Shackley was part of that whole cool group from that time. That's
Right, right.
amazing.
Yeah. He was when he was a child, he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. Um,
Oh my
so
goodness.
so his family moved from a town in Iowa to the countryside, and Forrest then was spending a lot of time outdoors, and he gradually got better. So his goal, his lifetime goal, was to look into nature and to um, observe and glean from that products that could improve our health.
Excellent. And who can't appreciate that and need that? I mean, we all are need to be health conscious and to take care of ourselves. And
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I just had no idea that was all part of the history here. So this is I'm enjoying this a
Yeah.
lot.
Um,
So what
I
is
was,
your oh, go ahead. Sorry.
oh, Sue, I was just real quick also going to share that Shackley is very committed to the environment. And in 2004, there was a lady, her name is Dr. Wangari Maathai. I know that's a mouthful, but she won the Nobel Peace Prize. And she has an organization called Green Belt Movement. So her mission is to plant trees worldwide. Um, and our CEO, our current CEO, has joined forces with her. And so now Shackley is also committed to helping plant trees with the purchase of one of our products.
Oh, how cool is that? I love that the environment is involved. Wow. Okay, so there's a lot going on there with the company that is has evolved a bit since I last heard about Shackley, because I think the first time I encountered this company was probably at it might have been 25 years ago. I mean, I can appreciate the history. I actually do a lot with Tupperware, and they're actually I gotta look.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
77 years that they've been around now, something like that. So that there
I
is
know
such
that.
a rich history there is something that you can really lean on, because if it
Mhm.
wasn't a good company and reputable, it wouldn't still be around, right?
That's true. That's true. Yes, yes,
Oh, that's
right.
exciting to hear.
So
So, well,
that's one of the things that attracted me to the company as well.
awesome. Well, and I know you said you're a small town girl living in a big city now. I can totally appreciate that, because I came from the northern part of Wisconsin, like 5 hours north of here, and in a small area, and living in now just outside of Milwaukee, and loving all the fun perks that come with being near all these types of resources and all these things that are going on. There's always something to do, something to
That's
connect
true.
with, and it's a different pace, right? Um, and it's kind of fun. I like connecting with other small town folks, because I still consider that that's where my roots were, right? So that's I still feel that way.
I know, I do too. I feel the same way you do. I mean, I like the convenience of living close to a city, but then I still miss the country. And a lot of my family is still in the same small town that I grew up in. So I always enjoy, going back and visiting when I get a chance.
Excellent. And there are holidays coming up. Do you get to visit over the
Yes,
holiday? Yeah.
yes,
Excellent.
yes. We're going, the whole family's gathering back at the family farm for Thanksgiving.
I love that. That's perfect. So how big of a group do you usually get together?
Let's see. I have to count them.
It's enough that you get to count. That's good.
9, 10, 11, 12. Let's see, 12, and 5, 17, about 17.
That's a nice size group. I love that.
Mhm.
That's awesome. I know we actually tangent. We have a on my husband's side of the family, every other year we actually as a big group will get together. And I say big like 20, 22, depending on who all can make it. We actually are we're so spread out that we don't get to see each other much anymore. They used to always get together at Christmas time at grandma's house, right? But she
Mhm.
passed away actually like, oh, what is it now? A little over 22 years ago now. So
Oh, yeah.
shortly after we lost her, we said, okay, how are we all going to stay in touch? Because everybody's not going to always travel here because it was a distance for everybody else. We happen to live 10 minutes away from where she is or was, but everybody else always was doing the traveling. So we started doing this thing where we would pick a different place to go, like, and we would do it every other year. So we would always be getting together, and that's morphed now. We actually do like a week-long vacation every other year in the summer, and like rent a big house somewhere. And it varies where we go. We've been all over the country and seen some amazing sights, and it's always like whenever we get together, it's like we never left.
Mhm.
Everybody loves playing games. We love doing all sorts of fun family things, and so
Mhm.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next time we get together, which is going to be next August now. It's a little ways off
Oh,
yet, but they finally picked a date, picked a place, all that fun stuff.
oh, good, good. Oh, that would be fun.
So, well, I know you had talked a little bit about family before we were chit-chatting a little before we got
Mhm.
on the air here. Do you want to
Mhm.
tell a little bit more about your family and some of the
Uh-huh.
experiences that you've as a family have had?
Yeah, yeah. I was telling you, Sue, about our oldest son, who is now 29. And when he was 10, he was in fifth grade, he was diagnosed with attention deficit. So at that point, it was a surprise. But then at the same time, it was also an explanation of some of the things that we were experiencing as parents. And at that point, we had a diagnosis, but there weren't a lot of resources for us, to go on from there. Um, we tried organizing his bedroom. We tried organizing his homework folders. Um, we talked to teachers. We would set up plans, and inevitably, the plans were well laid, but it was still a struggle. It was still very much a struggle. So when he graduated from high school, to me that was a milestone because it was an accomplishment. At After that, he tried college, but that was not for him. But I was proud of him for trying. Um, he he landed a job right out of high school, working at a local fast food place right across the street from where we live. And he was like their best drive-through window attendant because he could take the cash and the payments, and then also take the orders at the same time. So there might be a car
That's hard.
ordering. I know, but he loved it. And then he would take the order, and then he would also take the payment. And he just kept them flowing. So his brain was working that fast. Um, but right now he's working at an insurance company. And he's thinking about going into the trades. So he's looking into that.
Awesome. That's one of the things that at the intro of every show we talk about celebrating the ability in all of us. We all have different things that are our strengths, right? that's the kind of
Right.
thing that a lot of people can't do what you were just describing. That would make people just, frustrated and confused. But that was something that worked for him. So
Right.
we all have different abilities, and it's a matter of figuring out where to best put them. Where are my interests?
Right.
Where are my strengths? What can I do with what I have? God gave me all these great pieces.
Hmm.
Okay, if
Hmm.
that there might we all have pieces that are not our favorite pieces of ourselves, right?
Right. Right. But I was told once that folks with attention deficit can really their brain can take in so much stimuli, and they're always um aware, of everything that's going on. And someone told me once that, centuries ago, eons ago, when we were living in tribal communities, that folks with disability, with attention deficit, um, they were probably some of the best hunters because they could go out in a group, and when they came upon their prey, they would be aware of everything. They knew which way, they might chase the animal. They might know, um, what lay ahead. Um, and then they would probably be the ones that would be able to effectively make a kill and then bring it back to the tribe.
Well, interesting. And that makes so much sense. I mean, really, there, there's a place for everyone.
Hmm.
Everybody, again, we all have our own strengths, and to figure out what they are, that's a challenge we all have, isn't it? To figure out
Right.
really where's my place in this world. I mean, you mentioned like college. College was not the best fit. I actually work at a college, and I can absolutely appreciate that. With all the people I know, there are people that is where they need to be. That is the right place for them. I can tell you it's the right place for them. They challenge me. It's awesome. I love it. And there's so many of the students that come through that they have they have the world ahead of them. They know where they're headed. They have goals, and they're smarter than I ever could want to be. They know where they're going. And
Hmm.
and then there's also students that come through where it's like, you know what? This is not the best route. There was a time where everybody said, "Oh, you got to go to college. You got to go to." That is not the right answer for everybody. It
Right.
really isn't. There are so
Hmm.
many other options. You mentioned trades. You know what?
Hmm.
There are so many great ways to go if you go into the trades, whatever one you would choose. There are so
Hmm.
many great options and great
Right.
paying jobs. I mean,
Right.
there.
Right. Yeah. I know there's a shortage right now for skilled trades.
Mhm.
Um, so I think this would be a very good fit. Plus, a lot of those jobs you're using your hands. So my son is a hands-on learner. He's a hands-on person. So I think this could be a really good fit for him.
That's exciting to get to that. Yeah. So now you said you've got a couple more kids that are younger. Is that right?
Yes, they're younger. I have a younger son and then a younger daughter. So there's the two boys that are the oldest, and then my daughter's the youngest. Um, and interestingly enough, Sue, before we were talking, I forgot to mention that my daughter also has a disability. She was diagnosed with a hearing loss when she was in kindergarten. So, you know
Wow.
how they screen all the kindergartners, for the hearing test. Well, she did not pass. So they referred us to our pediatrician. And then he referred us on to a speech and hearing center here in Columbus. And sure enough, she has a bilateral hearing loss. Um, and it was gradually getting worse. But then when she got into, I want to say fourth or fifth grade, it leveled out. So she has not had any more hearing loss. It's stabilized. But she does have hearing aids. But I never even think about it because she's been in marching band. Um, and when she went to college, She had, what was it? She gave her professors like a little lapel pin. So they would pin it to their shirt and then it would pipe through to Leah's hearing aids.
That's awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So she was able to hear the lecture. Plus she sat up front. Um, but yeah, the universities have all kinds of special services, for folks
Mhm.
with disabilities. So that's one of the first places we went. We went to student services, um, and they said that all of the lectures would be recorded, so she could go back and listen. And she would also get the professor's notes.
Oh, you know, I would say society as a whole has come a long ways when it comes to these types of, honestly, what I consider easy solutions. There was a time
Mhm.
I can picture back when I was in college. I don't know that they were all that ready to be, oh, I've got to wear a pin, or that even to have, maybe if we didn't even have the technology, that I don't know. I'm not sure when that really would have started,
I
but that,
know. Yeah,
what a great thing to be able to do those
I know.
simple solutions that make all the difference.
I know because I thought, hearing aids, you think of them as, like what your grandparents would wear, behind the ears.
Mhm.
Which, Leah does have those, but they're so small, they're so tiny. And then to have like the little lapel pin that would pipe directly into her hearing aids. I mean, there'd be, like a frequency exchange right there, so she could hear it right in her ear, what he was saying or she was saying.
That's fantastic. I've heard of that too, like even hooked up to your television so that people don't have to have the TV cranked up loud to hear it. They can have it piped right in into whatever their hearing device is.
Mhm.
Oh, technology has really changed the face of disabilities and how people are able to interact and experience the world. It's just, I love how far we've come, and it makes me wonder, 20, 40, 80, 100 years from now, I wonder where we're going to be with these types of amazing assistance and ways to make life even better. I'm excited to see where things go.
I know, I know. Yes.
I kind of
Um,
wondered too, with her starting out with that so young, and to
mhm,
be able to grow with that. I wonder if that
mhm,
in some ways ends up making things a little bit easier for, that it was such a natural thing that she was able to do all the normal school things, the band and all that. I
mhm.
love that it didn't hold her back. From what I'm hearing, it sounds like it was just part of her, which is
It was,
awesome. That
it was, yeah. She, let's see, when she was first diagnosed, as I said, it started off slowly. Um, and the um the pathologist, the audiologist, actually allowed my husband and I to hear what she was hearing. She
oh,
simulated it, and it was kind of like being underwater. So it was really muffled, but Leah didn't know anything different. So, it was just natural that she would get, we wanted her to have the hearing aids. She was in speech therapy, so that she could grasp the language, because, it was difficult for her to hear. Another thing, with our daughter, she is adopted. So when Eric and I were going through the adoption process, we were asked if we would accept a child with special needs. And we said yes, because we'd already had our oldest son. So we said, well, you know, we have him, we might as well go ahead and accept another child. So we were matched. At that point, they said, your daughter is healthy, very typical. So at that point, she did not have any special needs. But then a few years later, we found out, well, guess what? But it was all very correctable. It was all very correctable. Mm-hmm.
Oh, oh, it meant to be. It all happens in its own time, and it meant to be.
Mm-hmm.
God bless for doing the adoption route like that and to be open. I haven't adopted myself, so I didn't know that was. It makes sense that would be a question on there, but
Mm-hmm.
people have to actually have that conscious decision of, am I open to this? Am I not? I love it. It takes a big heart to say whatever comes my way, this is what was meant to be, and that sounds like you got exactly the perfect person in your world there.
Yes, we agree. She completes our family.
Awesome. Well, I want to bring it back a moment here. I know you started out talking about Shackley, and with all the wonderful things they have, is there anything with what you've had experienced where, whether it's with that or with your family too? I guess I'm rephrasing this as I'm saying it. If you have any stories that you want to share, anything that I'm even thinking, if there's any of the like with what the products are with Shackley, is anything that's made a difference for your family specifically, or with anybody you know?
Um, I will say that their cleaning products are excellent.
Ooh,
I have one customer that her daughter was suffering from allergies. She tried our cleaning products and she said there have been no, uh, her daughter has not had any flare-ups or, it's not agitating her. Um, so the cleaning products are great if you have allergies. I'll also say that I was diagnosed with low vitamin D last year. Most folks living in Ohio are deficient in vitamin D. So I started taking vitamin D supplements, and now my levels are right back up to normal. Um, so the products are wonderful. They work great. They're also very safe. They're 100% natural. We actually Shackley tests very stringently for any contaminants. So these are as pure as you can get.
awesome. Oh, I love it. This has been such a pleasure getting to know you, and I'm so happy you've been on here with us tonight. Uh, I've got a total random question that every once in a while we take a moment and step back and say, you know what? Ice cream social time. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Okay. Well, we have a ice cream company here. I think they're based in Cincinnati, but they have branches here in Columbus. It's called Grater's Ice Cream, and my favorite flavor would be the cookie dough chocolate chip.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
we also have a Buckeye flavor. So we're in the heart of Buckeye country, so there is also a flavor specifically for Buckeye fans.
Oh, that's amazing. Do you know what the ingredients are in that?
I know it's chocolate chips. Um, off the top of my head, I can't remember. I think it's
It's all
peanut
good.
butter, chocolate chips. Hmm.
Sounds like we're a little bit with kindred spirits here as far as the family piece, the small town. I love my cookie dough ice cream. I'm always kind of torn between that and peanut butter cup. those are where I typically land. So just a fun piece we like to bring up once in a while. But I am so thankful that you got to join us here tonight, Diane. And we will definitely be sharing out information. So if anybody else has questions for you, that they can reach out and talk to you as well. But for here with Ability MKE Now, again, my name is Sue Roskoff, and we love the opportunity to discuss all things ability related. And as always, we thank you.